Good morning. Across the country, women are taking ownership of their personal safety like never before. Over the past decade, the number of female gun owners has grown remarkably. Today, 1 in 4 women in the United States is a gun owner, 1 in 4. And that's roughly 25%, but more than 29% of concealed carry holders are women. This isn't about politics. It isn't about ideology. It's about being prepared, feeling capable, and taking charge of your life. As the president and CEO of A Girl and a Gun, I see this every day. Women are saying, I will not be a victim, and they're taking action. One interesting trend is when women enter the firearms world. According to research, men typically purchase their first firearm at age 19. Women typically become gun owners at age 27. That's an 8-year age gap. In our Girl and a Gun community, women often begin even later, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Why the later start? There are many reasons that spur women into gun ownership, but the reality is that many women don't typically first come to firearms because of sport or recreation. They typically come to firearms because life demands it. Because personal safety, motherhood, or a life-changing event made gun ownership attractive or essential. And once women step into the firearms world, something remarkable happens. They move quickly. From first-time shooter to confident defender, often in months, not years. This journey is supported by credentialed, welcoming environments where women can ask questions, learn skills, and grow. That's exactly what organizations like A Girl and a Gun provide. Since our founding in 2011, we have had consistent year-over-year growth. This post-pandemic growth continues to reflect this demand. As you can see, in 2021, we trained more than 35,000 women, 2022, more than 38,000, 2023, more than 39,000. Last year, we trained more than 45,000 women, and we're continuing to see that trend this year in 2025. Even more revealing, many members have owned their firearms for 10 years or more, but have trained significantly within the past 5 years. This mirrors data from the spike in gun sales we saw in the pandemic, but also reflects the rise in women's participation as we're still seeing that they're coming to the range for structured skill-building experiences. Within our membership, ownership is strong. 83% of our women own their own pistol, 38% own their own rifle, 24% own their own shotgun. 11% claim to rent or borrow firearms from a friend or from the range, which offers growth opportunities for ranges, manufacturers, and FFLs to serve these first-time buyers. This steady rise demonstrates that women are investing in their skills and their confidence, transforming themselves along the way. And this transformation naturally leads to addressing the threats that they face head-on. Violence against women is real. The statistics are sobering. 1 in 4 women experiences severe physical violence in her lifetime. 1 in 10 women is sexually assaulted, and some would say that's a very conservative estimate. 1 in 7 has been stalked. And firearms are often involved. 67% of intimate partner homicides of women involve a firearm. About 2% of A Girl and a Gun members report using their firearm in self-defense of themselves or someone in their home, and it's mostly in home invasions. Many defensive encounters don't make headlines because no shots are fired. In fact, surveys estimate that nearly 2 million defensive gun uses occur each year, often going unreported. The presence of a trained, prepared woman is often enough to prevent a crime before it begins, and the confidence that comes from training, knowing you are ready, is life-changing. Checking to see what slide I'm on, I apologize. The peace of mind that comes from training is immeasurable. When women know that they're prepared, even if they never use their firearm, often it offers safety, confidence, and self-reliance every single day. Numbers are important, but stories offer this more vividly. There are the concealed carry stats. Okay, I'm going to go back. Somehow my slides are off. I apologize. But I'm going to advance forward and tell you about Lita. Lita's one of our members. When we first met Lita, she was a meek school teacher, quiet, reserved, and meek. But she did all the right things. She came to training, she asked the right questions, she built her skills step by step. When we talked about hardening your home, she listened. When we offered scenario-based training, she learned verbal judo and honed her mindset. When we launched our marksmanship program, she progressed through the levels, gaining confidence with tighter groupings. You can look at her target. I'm a proud mama for that. And then, when the unthinkable happened, a group of men began kicking in her front door. She was not helpless. She was in control. She took charge. She told her husband the plan, and she was equipped to protect her family. Because she had reinforced the door as she learned in training, the men couldn't get inside and they left. Later, she posted the ring cam footage to her Nextdoor app to alert her neighbors. And one woman reached out to her saying that was her teenage son and his friends. Some teenagers were just playing around. Lita, being the school teacher, invited those boys over and their parents, and she told them what was happening on the other side of the door and what would have happened had that door come open. She took it as a learning opportunity to teach those young men and to hopefully make an impression on them. But today, Lita carries herself with confidence and self-assurance. It started on the range, but now it is in so many other areas of her life. She is no longer timid, she is transformed. This story illustrates the broader truth. Women are not just becoming gun owners, they are becoming leaders, mentors, and role models through firearms training. These are not abstract numbers. They influence real decisions and save lives. Within A Girl and a Gun, 73% of members report that national statistics on violence have influenced their decision to train. Over 70% of female gun owners nationwide cite protection as their primary reason to own a firearm. But more than protection, it's about confidence, self-reliance, and personal authority. I think this is where our slides got off a little bit. I'm going to jump back here. Dr. John Lott's research shows that a woman carrying a concealed handgun reduces the murder rate for women by 3 to 4 times more than a man carrying a concealed handgun reduces the murder rate for men. 3 to 4 times. Prepared women save lives, sometimes their own, sometimes the lives of others. Understanding these statistics can help explain why many women make deliberate choices about gun ownership. Let's look more closely at how domestic violence intersects with these decisions. It may seem paradoxical that guns are the leading method of homicide and domestic violence, but they're also the biggest motivator for women to learn to train. A researcher at UC Davis noted that most mass shootings have some connection to domestic violence. Women understand that potential attackers are often armed, and to level the playing field, they choose to be prepared as well. The numbers speak volumes. 70% of women with concealed carry permits have attained them in the last 5 years. Within A Girl and a Gun, only 14% of our 8,000 members do not have a concealed carry permit. 31% say they can't carry at work, but they carry the majority of the time elsewhere. When asked how recent high-profile murders have affected their training, only 15% of our women said that they were unaffected. More than half say they train regularly because of these tragedies, and nearly 30% reported that the recent events of the past few weeks have motivated them to train and carry more often. Women are turning awareness into action, creating networks of preparedness and support that extend beyond themselves. Women are buying guns not just for safety, but for independence, confidence, and connection. National research confirms that women are the fastest growing demographic of new gun buyers. A 2021 study found that nearly half of all gun owners since 2019 are women. Between 2012 and 2022, the number of women with concealed carry permits increased 115% faster than men's. Within A Girl and a Gun, 47% prioritized defensive training, 32% preferred training and support from other women. And family involvement is central. 86 report shooting with their family, 37% specifically with their spouse. However, 28% of our members are the only shooter in their household, which is a trend that we're seeing rising year over year. Women are often the leaders in household safety, introducing firearms into the family, shaping the family budget, activities, and safety decisions. Our Girl and a Gun membership is diverse. 63% are married or partnered, 18% single, 13% divorced. Politically, 39% claim to be conservative, 32% mixed or unreported. So this movement crosses political lines. It's about culture, create community, and self-reliance. As women build confidence and community, the question becomes, how does this translate into real-world readiness? Because training is more than marksmanship. It's about capability, confidence. Data shows that 96% of our members say that training has helped them feel confident with their firearms. 75%, I want to say this again, 75% of our members report that the confidence that they experience on the range has translated into other areas of their lives. 75% feel that way. Women are becoming instructors, mentors, and leaders. They are standing taller because they know they can. This transformation ties all the elements together: delayed entry into the firearms world, rapid skill development, community, preparedness, and personal safety that all reinforce to each other to create capable and confident women. The rise in women's gun ownership is not a trend, it's a transformation. Women may enter the firearms community later than men, but remember, once they do, they move quickly with passion, like all we do. From first-time shooter to trained, licensed, and confident defender, protector of themselves, their families, their communities, and their values. Women are not just owning guns, they are claiming safety, confidence, agency, and authority. They're redeeming what it means to be prepared, building safer households, and inspiring the next generation. We're not just training women to handle firearms. We're training them to think critically, lead boldly, and live confidently. That's the story of A Girl and a Gun, and that's the story of all women in firearms today. Thank you.